Oh, frick. I don't think I had anyone. Oh, I don't. Let me try. I'm about to go live. Oh, look, yeah, I'm about to go live. All right, bye. Oh, hello, hello, hello. So, first and foremost, I want to be sure that everyone understands clearly that I am not your average coach. I'm not your average podcaster. I am not trying to duplicate anyone. Okay? I am me, I am she, and I do stuff just differently. I really, really do. So, just to kind of tell you guys that, let me be sure I didn't delete this. I did. When when I started podcasting, it was in the midst of me taking like a social media break, and this whole podcasting thing kept popping up in my spirit, as we say, right? So it kept popping up, and I kept saying to myself, this podcasting, I don't really know if I want to do it. So I started doing a little research on it, and then I was like, okay, well, maybe I can do this because I don't have to be on video, and I can just kind of go through my experiences and my feelings. So I kind of used it as a therapy. And during that time, I continued to pray and seek guidance. And as time went on, I got the option, as they say, from the Holy Spirit, that a lot of the things that I was doing, I needed to let them go because that's not necessarily the path that I should be walking in. It wasn't my calling. And let me rephrase, it was my calling for a season, but the season of that calling was coming to an end. I was like, okay. And as soon as I accepted the fact that I had to let a few things go, all of a sudden I'm starting to get all of these notifications for the podcast summit that was in Miami. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll go. You know, me and my son will go and we'll make that part of the summer foodie tour. So we go, and my life was changed because I felt like I was bit by the podcasting bug. And as I started to really dig into podcasting a little bit more, I was like, this is a lot of shit. It was a lot. So I was like, okay, I don't really know how I am going to maneuver through this because there's so many different systems that you need to know. There's so many different moving parts that you got to figure out. And I just took a deep breath and I said, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. And to compensate for needing cameras and this and that and the other, I said, we'll just hire a production crew. So I have production come in and film. So that fixed that part. But then when it got to, okay, the editing, and then because it's like, I see the vision, it's hard to give my vision to someone else and expect them to execute it the way that I'm seeing it. So I decided to start doing my own editing and learning about all of these different platforms and blah, 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 blah. So as I started getting to know more about these different platforms, and y'all, I made a salad because I said I was going to sit up here and eat, but that's so rude to do, but I'm so hungry and I just left the gym. And of course, my cousin Tammy, she loves to see me eat because she's always saying, oh, look at your lips, look at your lips, look at your lips. So, anyway, I just heard her saying that in my ear. So I came up with a tool that I feel is very beneficial for anyone that's in the podcasting arena because there's so much that you have to plan. You have to plan your content. You have to curate your guests. You have to know which systems you're going to use. You have to plan all of this stuff out. Like, what is your topics going to be? Is everything tying in together? So because of that, I decided to create a podcast planner. This is the second planner I created. The very first one I created was a business planner. And the business planner was to help people that were new to business or wanted to start a business or struggling in business, to help them understand some business infrastructure that they were not familiar with or connected to help them understand how a business actually works. So with doing a podcast, you want to run your podcast like a business. And I said, well, you know what? I don't want to come in and add all of that stuff and then jumble it in with podcasting because this is like a totally different arena. So I'm going to revamp the business planner. And I'm kind of debating because I still have this business book that I have written probably 5 years ago that I still have not released yet. It is still sitting in my computer. Hey girl, what about me? But one day we're going to release that. We might even decide to use it as a lead magnet. I don't know. I think it'll be a perfect lead magnet. But to understand podcasting, it's totally different. And a lot of people, they jump into it thinking, oh, I just record or talking to Mike and that's it. Baby, no, that's not it. There's so much more to it. And that helped me understand why God was saying, you have to let all of this other stuff go because where I'm taking you, not going to have time for it. And he was absolutely correct because with podcasting, I don't have time to be a business coach. I don't have time to do taxes. I don't have time to do bookkeeping and keep up with the day job that covers everything until all of this other stuff takes off. So as I started releasing those things that God led me to release, then he started bringing in the things that he wanted me to now focus on. So that's where the digital podcast planner ended up being birthed, because once I got into it, I was like, wow, yeah, where's the structure? And nobody can help me understand how the workflow should go. Like, there was nothing out there that I could find. So as I learned stuff in bits and pieces, I decided, you know what? I need a planner for me. So I decided to create this digital podcast planner. And it's actually a strategic planner because, like I said, you need to know who are your guests going to be, what are the conversations going to be. You need to still interact with your audience, so you have to now create content in addition to your podcast to continue to engage your audience. So what I decided to do, and I'm very glad I decided to do this, is to create this podcast planner. And I leverage AI a lot, but AI needs human interaction. So I'm telling AI what I need. So I am still Coach Todd, right? I am still the leader of the Internet tribe, which means it is business, not personal. Okay. And I'm your guide to success in the world of podcasting. And today, the purpose of this live is for us to dive deep into the podcast promotion process. But guess what? Like I said, I've got a game changer for you. So stick around because we're about to unravel some exciting news related to the 2024 Podcast Strategic Planner created by none other than Coach Tots, your podcast technology professor. That is my alter ego. So you have Coach Tots, who is kind of your life coach to help you understand that your shit stink and show you where it stink at so you can clean the shit off of you and get your life together. And then you have Professor Tots, who is the technology professor on the podcasting side. Now, we all know that promoting a podcast is a challenge. It's a challenge. Now, everybody does not realize that, but I'm telling you, it is a challenge. But what if I told you that there's a tool designed to make your life easier when it comes to podcasts? So this is where the creation of the 2024 Podcast Strategic Planner came from. And it was crafted by the brilliant mind of Professor Tots. This planner is your secret weapon for strategic podcast success. Now, before we dive into the planner, let's quickly recap some podcast promotion challenges and their solutions, okay? From the recording and production process to audience engagement, guest management, content consistency, and tackling platform-specific challenges, we've covered it all in this planner. Okay, we've covered it all. But here's the exciting part, okay? The 2024 Podcast Strategic Planner is specifically tailored to address these challenges and take your podcast to the next level. It's not just a planner, it's a roadmap for podcasting excellence. And I even included self-care, because you cannot be a podcaster and not take the time that you need for self-care. So I included in the planner to be sure that you do not forget about you. You still have to do the things you need to do for you, because baby, if you can't pour from your own cup into you, how are you going to pour into somebody else? And podcasting is really about pouring into other people, connecting people to the things that they need to help them get through their day. And I decided that my niche would be to help people with podcast technology, because it's always changing and it's so much out there. And if you sit around and purchase every piece of podcast technology that comes out because you think you want to use it, you're going to go through some money. Okay, I already went through the money for you. So I've already went through the money and I've decided, you know what, this works and you don't need these four because this one covers all four in one. So that's all in the strategic planner for podcasters as well. Now, let's talk marketing. To get the most out of the 2024 Podcast Strategic Planner, you need a solid marketing strategy. So these are going to be sneak peeks that you will share on social media, You'll create engaging content around how the planner is helping you, and it's going to help transform your podcasting game. So you can consider collaborations with fellow podcasters who have also embraced podcasting. Because you can't be a podcaster and just sit and talk to yourself all the time. You're going to have guests, you're going to engage with other podcasters, and you'll understand that, hey, I need some help in this area, and people will come along. But when it comes to deciding what content you're going to create, you need a planner because you want your content to tie in together. You don't want to just be all over the place, right? And as you all know, I hate when I say the word right because I am a Toastmaster. I need to go find my lapel because I have the Toastmaster lapel and all of that stuff. And I won second place in the regional humorous speech contest. But if the counter from Toastmasters was to hear me say right multiple times while I'm speaking, they're going to say, oh, that's a filler word. So you'll have words like and stuff like that. So and that was me going off on a tangent because I'm trying to stop saying right as a filler word, because saying the word right is not a word to use to try to convince someone that what you're saying is right. It's you trying to convince yourself that what you're saying is right, and you're trying to think of what to say next. So you say right, and it's the filler word. It's the filler word. It's a filler word. It's a fucking filler word. So just to get back to the planner, Professor Top's creation isn't just a planner, it's a revolution in podcasting. And by incorporating it into your routine, you're not just keeping up with the game, you're setting the rules, because your planner is going to be set up for your podcast, your niche, and your content, your guests, and all of that stuff. And I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the planner. I'm actually talking through this planner right here. And it's available now at www.keepmanifesting.com. You can purchase it as a digital download. You can even go and purchase it over on my Etsy. And I'm currently in the process of getting hard copies, where if you don't want the digital, you want it in your hand. Like, you can currently get the digital, and if you want to print it out yourself, you can. But I want one that's going to be ready for people to want the hard copy as well. So when those come in, that will be added to the website as well. It will be slightly higher than the digital, and because I got to pay print them. Okay. And I'm trying to not cuss as much. So I am still a work in progress. So let's give it up for me. So get ready to elevate your podcasting journey with the 2024 Podcast Strategic Planner, which was created as a item to help you to keep manifesting. Okay, it's going to help you keep manifesting. So I really want you all to get out there and get this planner, because if you're in the podcasting world, I promise you, you need it. So let me go ahead and just dig in real quick so I can show you guys the planner, because I want you to see it. So I'm opening it now. So just give me a moment. Okay, so let me share the screen, and I think it's only right that we hand this over to Professor Todd, right? Because Coach Todd, this is Coach Todd talking. When y'all hear that little British, African, whatever type of accent she has, because we still trying to figure that out because it be flopping. That's Professor Todd, and she's going to only speak to you about technology. So without further ado, let me bring Professor Todd over to the stage. You ready? Get ready! Sometimes working with her is a challenge. But I love her. I love Professor Todd. I really do. I think we're an awesome team. We work so well together. So hold on. Are you ready? Okay, she said she's ready. She said, "You got this. You got this. Come on." Hello, everyone. Thank you, Coach Tat. I greatly appreciate the introduction and you explaining to everyone this really great creation that I have put together to help people in the world of podcasting because it's very hard. It's a lot of different things. So I just want to talk a little bit of what we decided to put in this planner to help you all on your podcasting journey. And no, this is a strategic planner. And Coach Tots, I don't think that you have the planner open. I think you only have the I think you only have the cover because it's not allowing me to scroll anywhere, dear. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment. I'm sorry, Professor Todd. I'm so sorry. Give me a moment so I can try to get this together because she worked really hard on this and it's not fair for me to come and mess it up because she has it together. So this is me being the assistant, you know. Being the assistant is a lot of work. Okay, let's see. Um, I don't know if that's the right one, Professor Todd. One moment. Let me be sure I'm getting the right one here because I ain't got time for the people. Do 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 do. Okay, I think I got the right one now. I think I have the right one. Um. Okay, I have the right one, Professor Todd. I got the right one out here for you now. So I'm gonna hand it back over. You ready? She mad. She a little mad. Professor Todd, like, girl. Y'all hold on while I share this screen. Oh wait, this is the wrong screen. Ooh, shy. Okay, Professor Todd, you ready? Ooh, honey, if y'all could see the little languages she giving me. I said, I'm sorry now. Don't let me no fight in here. Keep this thing together. Okay, here we go. She said she ready now. She said she ready. I deepest apology about that. So this is something that I hold very near and dear to my heart because this is the podcast strategic planner for 2024. And just when you open it or look at it, I want you to understand, and I put this as a word of encouragement to you. In the realm of unseen moments, magic unfolds. Divine the gaze of onlookers. Embrace the power within and craft your own enchantment. I want you all to understand when you are creating your podcast, it is your podcast. Don't look to duplicate anyone else. Make it yours. Do what you like. We have podcasts out here about everything nowadays. You have people with podcasts talking about the correct way to pop a P-U. You know what I'm talking about. We have people with podcasts that talks about how they have the chaps of drinking. We have people with podcasts that are talking about all of the celebrity gossip. We have people with podcasts that talk about so many different things. So let your podcast be what's special to you. But you must also know that you have to strategically plan out your content and you need to have the correct things in place. I want you to understand that Coach Tots did assist in the creation of the planner, and she wants you to commence, which means she wants you to start. She wants you to flourish, which means she wants you to grow. And she wants you to transform, which means she wants you to continually be the best you that you can be in the podcast world. So this was her dedication and her page because she wants you to keep manifesting. Empower your dreams. Keep manifesting. Then we have the podcast prior year in review. If you currently have a podcast, this is something you should be doing for 2023. You should be noting your top accomplishments, your brightest moments, your biggest opportunities for improvement. And then when you look at the biggest opportunities for improvement, you also need to break that down to say, what do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? And what do I need to continue doing? And then we want you to determine what is the next year's vision for your podcast. You determined that in the prior year. Therefore, once you have that determined, you now know how to plan out your podcast for the coming year. We have listed SMART goals. You need to know the SMART goals. It needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, and relevant, and time-bound. That must be part of your podcast. You need to plan your weekly content. We help give you a guideline of what to do and the days to do it on. We do believe that Sunday is a rest day, and it's a day that you should rest and recuperate. Go to brunch, go to church, spend time with family, watch some sports, do whatever. But do not make your podcast a 7-day-a-week thing because you must take time for yourself to rest. We also want you to save money. So we decided to put in there to show you how to save $10,000 in 52 weeks, and you can select anywhere you decide to start. We gave you a budget because you need a budget, and a lot of people do not understand that you still will have rent, utilities, cable, internet, and food. Those are things that you will always need. You cannot have a podcast if you do not have the internet. Now, you may not need cable, but you definitely need the internet. So we're going to go ahead and just jump on down through here and show you some more of our items in here. You have calendars listed, and each month has a word of encouragement provided by Coach Tots. And for March, for example, it says, like the budding spring, my podcast evolves and grows, adapting to new opportunities and challenges. And it tells you to kind of plan out your promotion, your engagement, your alignment, your guest curation. It's helping you understand that your podcast is going to need all of these things. So it's to help you gather yourself and your podcast. And then as we keep going down, we have another area here where you then, again, do your podcast year in review. So you can repeat the same steps. This is a game changer if you are in the podcast industry. And I highly recommend that you go to www.keepmanifesting.com to purchase the podcast strategic planner. I highly recommend it. Coach Tots, thank you so much for allowing me some time on this live to share the importance of everyone needing this if they're in the podcasting industry. We even have in here some highlights to show you different tools that you should be using and how to repurpose your content, how to edit. All of that is in here. So please go and get the digital download. It's $14.44. And this was a work with a collaboration with me and Coach Tots. And I'm going to hand it back over to Coach Tots. Thank you so very, very much for your time. And we thank you all for subscribing to the channel and sharing the information to allow YouTube to push the content to the correct people. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Professor Todd. You're a sweetheart. I'm sorry about the little mishap in the beginning, but thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know where we would be without Professor Tots, because the way she shares the podcast technology, I think it's very awesome, because she shows us right then, especially if it's something she's never touched before, she helps us to see if it's really something that's easy to use or it's something that's going to be a little confusing. And she shares all those tutorials over on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe and share the information. I thank you all for joining us today. I hope you find value in this live. I pray that you find value in the strategic planner. So get ready to elevate your podcasting journey with the 2024 Podcast Strategic Planner. I want you to keep manifesting, and I'll catch you in the next episode with more insights, strategies, and surprises. And we have some awesome guests that we will be bringing on to Eat the Cake, Drink the Wine, and Fuck Them People podcast, because that's where it all started at. That's my podcast. That's Coach Todd's podcast. And then Professor Todd realized there was a need to have something just a little bit deeper to help people that are kind of new into podcasting, or even people that are in podcasting and they're struggling. And Professor Todd has stated that she will be sharing different marketing strategies on YouTube. She has different courses that will be coming out to help you learn how to curate your content, to properly interview your guests for the proper engagement. So I'm just excited about that. So without anything else to say, I want to say thank you all for joining us and have an awesome day. Until next time, my lovelies. Peace out. Bye.